Hey guys, welcome back to EChessCafe. Today we're going to learn how the queen can be trapped and the opponent can give a checkmate. Most of us think that the queen is really useful, right? It's the most powerful piece. It can move both like a rook and a bishop, but sometimes that is just not the case, as the opponent can trick you and force you into playing some moves that may give you a disadvantage. Now let's see this game. I don't know who is playing white and black, but all we know that is white loves a queen because in this game white moves the queen a lot. So let's start. First move white places e4, e5. It's a classic opening. But then white comes up with qh5 to attack the weakest square. Now the opponent just doesn't care and decides to protect their pawn using nc6. White plays bc4, posing a checkmate threat. Pawn g6, and the queen runs away to f3. They push the knight out to nf6, and then the queen comes behind the bishop qb3. This is not a battery, as the queen has to be in the front to create a battery, so this is not going to give a checkmate. So next move is nd4. Black's target is to attack this place by distracting the queen to give a fork. Now they give bx f7. They're attacking the king. The king is forced to move to ke7. Here, because the queen is being attacked, they have to save the queen, so they move it to qc4, as the other spots create a loss. If the queen moves to b5, the knight will take, and any other square, the the king will cut the bishop. Next is qc4. They played it. Then next is b5. They're distracting the queen. And because the queen is attacked again, and wherever they move, they're going to lose the bishop or the queen. So the best move here for the queen is queen c5 check. Now the king happily takes this bishop kxf7, and then the queen moves back to c3. Then bishop b4. So the queen moved back to stop the knight from forking, and now they're trying to distract the queen again so they can give the fork. But instead, the queen moves to qd3, and then they move the pawn forward to d5, hoping to attack this way. But instead, the opponent decides to take their pawn. Then bishop f5 attacks the queen again. Here, because the pawn is protecting, the queen can't take. So qg3 is played in this move. Then a check is given to the king, and xc2, given a fork. kd1, and then eh, and then ne4. From here, I'm going to set a puzzle. You have to move until the white king is in checkmate. Pause here if you want to figure out the answer. Did you figure out the moves? Here, a notebook and or a chessboard may be useful here because it's multiple moves and you can't process them in your head. So next, qx e qx e5 to attack both the knight and the bishop. The bishop is protected, so main thing here is to catch this knight. Next is re8, chase the queen away. The queen moves back to f4, still attempting to attack this knight, but then it's nc3 check, and then white tries to take with the dx, plays dxc3, hoping on attacking the bishop, but black doesn't care. Instead they move qx d5 check, cut the pawn and give a check. Here the only move is to sacrifice their queen. They move in front of the opponent. They move in front. But what the problem here is, if the queen takes, it's not a checkmate. The king has space. The king can't move anywhere, but they can move the other pieces. Take this. It's not a checkmate. So this is a mistake which is mostly commonly done. You may see this move and you will give a check. So you should not get caught in that. Instead, the correct move for black is re1. You see that? This rank was open. Most people will be interested in giving the queen for a checkmate, but they will not notice that the rook has an entire open rank. So now king cannot take this because the knight is protecting. Only moves kd2. Here you can give a check. Here it's a checkmate. It's because if the pawn takes the queen, the bishop is giving check, and so that's an illegal move. The bishop is cut, the queen is giving check, so this is a checkmate. The king can't take any of the pieces. If you're wondering how the knight is protected, it's the bishop. When we moved when we moved this knight here, automatically the bishop gave protection for the knight. So this is why I have to be key knight. So good job if you notice this, and try to practice your eyes with more patterns like this. This is very useful in games. So now this is a checkmate. So now in this game, you have seen that the queen is not the most powerful piece and can sometimes create big losses. Thank you for watching.